Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 3DSWare review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Bitboy Arcade. You might be wondering why there's two videos up. Well, this is the short version, to quote a great movie. I realised the first one was long, and while a lot of people might like a long video with a lot more detail, not everyone's going to have the time. So this is the quick to the point version. At the start, you've got Construct, which is campaign, Quick Run, which just randomly puts you on the level, High Score, where you can check your high scores. You can hit the Bplus symbol to replay the starting cutscene, which this is the first time that Bplus has ever done a really expansive story with over an hour of music and voice acting in the game. You then go onto the World Hub, where the controls are really simple. You use the D-pad to move up, down, left, right, or the face buttons up, down, left, right, and you can kind of do diagonal by bashing two of them together like that. The circle pad moves the camera, but it's rare that you're going to need to move the camera because a lot of the time it's placed perfectly. You can then go into the levels, where there's normal levels and action levels, and to be fair, they're called phases, but there's normal phases and action phases, and the difference is action phases have little power-ups on them, where it's special blocks you can walk over. There's a jump block, a rocket block, and a bomb block, and by going over them it activates them, and you can use those to kill enemies if you're good enough with them, because they're not really there to kill enemies, they're there to help you get past certain parts of the level. Story mode, I have quickly mentioned it, and I'll go into a little more depth now. Basically, you play as Kubi, and Kubi is, for some reason, it does explain, but I don't want to spoil anything, for some reason, able to speak to Bernd, who is the developer of the game, who has the Kubi eyes at the moment, because I've just done well on the level. And that's not me bragging, that's just showing you what happens. And it's a brilliant story because I've not known any other game where the developer is so involved in the actual story and it's talking to you and telling you. And Kubi almost comes off like a bit of a critic because a lot of the time he's just complaining about things and wanting more and more, and he's saying, well, it's not as simple as that, and it works brilliantly and it does go well throughout the whole game. It's not something that gets tiresome after 5 minutes. So the whole point of every level is there's 20 pixel flies on all levels to collect. There are 213 levels total. However, one of them isn't a phase. It's not one of the things that I'm doing here. It's a very special level, so I'm not going to mention or show it because it's something that I think a lot of Bplus fans and a lot of newcomers to Bplus are going to enjoy. And the whole point is, by collecting all the pixel flies and all the friends and getting really good high scores to unlock the medals, you unlock everything on the game. There's 50 parchments to unlock, which appear at the bottom of the screen in the main hub, and they're basically there for like an achievement system, because sometimes by unlocking them you get hints, sometimes you get artwork, sometimes you get music, and it's just really nice and simple, and it just works really well. Pretty much everything about the game, to be fair, works really well. You might notice that I've actually, by saving the people, you have to stop under them rather than just going past them. Well, that actually adds a bit more depth and skill, because it means that you can't just blitz past them and beat the levels in super fast times, which is something that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to beat it in a quick time to get a good multiplier on your score and to do this, that and the other. It all adds up together to basically, by beating the level quickly and collecting as much as you can and destroying as much as you can, because once you collect everyone, you might have noticed you turn invincible and you can blast through the enemies. Doing all that gets you a really good score, and then you can go through. There's then boss phases, where there's two different versions of the boss. There's like a bit of a chase level, and then there's a level where you confront the boss and you actually have to attack the boss, and you've got to learn how to do it. And sometimes it is simply by collecting the pixel flies unlocks new areas for you of the boss stage to be able to then hurt him, and it all works really well. Difficulty on the game is insanely hard, and you can turn it down to easy mode once you've died a lot, but I quite liked the ability to just play it on hard, because it is one of those things that you will die so many times, it's unbelievable. From that, you can then use your play coins that you earn on the day. The play coins are obviously the actual system's play coins, which you'll be able to see on the home menu, and you spend 2 of them per continue. And to be fair, I think they're at the top of the screen, aren't they, not the bottom one? Yeah, I've already spent 20 coins just today, because I'd gotten myself a stockpile up of 300 just in case anything went really wrong with the review. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I can say for the quick version. It's just a nice action platformer. It's got a save feature which works brilliantly well. As you might have seen there, I exited out of the game mid-phase and it immediately put me back in on that phase, which is great for if your system dies when you're in the middle of something. If you've just done 19 phases and it dies, it means you don't have to worry. You'll go straight back onto the 20th phase that you're up to. and it's just a great action puzzler, action arcade game, whatever you want to call it. Well worth the price of admission because it is huge. The first Bit-Boy was only an hour long, so people might be looking at it and going, is that really worth it when the first one was an hour? Well, yes, it really is, because this one is much, much bigger. I mean, I've already said there's 213 levels overall, and it's just absolutely fantastic, the things that they've done to it. If you like the original, it's well worth getting, because I think you're going to love it. If you didn't like the original, it's still probably worth getting, because they've done so much to it that it's a completely different game. It's the same game in name and gameplay style only, really. Everything else has just been reworked, revamped, changed, tweaked. It's just, everything is huge. And if you've never played a Bplus game before, then this is probably the perfect place to start, because this could very well be their best one. I still love Nicky Rock'n'Ball, but this is just absolutely amazing. It's got a couple little problems here and there, but nothing too major. Sometimes it doesn't come up that you've killed all the enemies. Sometimes it doesn't come up that you've collected all the flies, because it comes up perfect when you've done that, and thank you when you've done the flies. But seeing as there are little monitors at the bottom telling you how many flies you've collected, it really isn't a huge problem. And it's something that you just have to basically know, if you know what I mean. It's like once you've done a level a few times, you know, oh, well, there's that many enemies, so once you've killed them, then you know you've killed them, you know. And that's about it, really, that I can say. It's just well worth looking into, for a quick summary, as you might have already guessed. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games, because that's based purely on opinion, so instead, I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid, or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe, because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.